microphone go? All right. Hey, let's thank. There you go. Let's thank. Ta-da.
Good evening and Merry Christmas to you at home. Thank you for joining us for the final Voices from the Heart for this year. What a year. I'm sure we all feel like we've more survived this year than thrived, but we really do appreciate that you've all spent time with us in your lounge rooms and living rooms. I'd like you to pour yourself a nice glass of whatever it is that refreshes you tonight and join us. And we have got a cracker of a night, the Voices from the Heart Christmas edition, with some of our most Christmassy people and people who embody the Christmas spirit. It's a cracker of a night, and we're going to hand over to Robin for our Acknowledgement of Country. Crack away, brother.
Kia ora, good evening everybody. Here we go. Ooh. Acknowledgement of Country. I would like to pay respect to the Gallagher and Biddigal peoples of the Eora Nation. I would also offer respect to elders past, present and emerging who are with us this evening. Always will be Aboriginal land. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now please have a seat. Don't sit on your glasses. Right. So tonight our guests, as we go from this side to that side, Robin Wairia, Jurgen Hoffman and Chantal Denis. Right? Now, I'm John, I'm the pastor and the CEO, but what you might not know is I really only am the pastor and the CEO for 11 months of the year, and then for 1 month of the year, the real boss of Wayside is sitting on my right-hand side, and she is not to be messed with in the month of December. She's been doing it for a few years now. So tell us about who you are and a bit about yourself.
Well, I won't tell you everything, otherwise we'll be here until next year. So that will be my 36th Christmas this year. So I think I know in a way what I'm doing. And then, for people who don't know, I come from New Caledonia, and find the Wayside Chapel in 1983, and then 3 years later I started the Christmas.
Wow.
So yeah, so Christmas is my baby.
You are everything that screams Christmas about Wayside. I'm really glad she started off slow, because wait till she warms up, I won't get a chance to say another word. Jurgen Hoffman, tell us a bit about yourself. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, John. So good to be here. It's an honour to be here. Wayside Chapel, a friend of ours, introduced us to Wayside Chapel 21 years ago to the Christmas street party. And Jojo, she was pregnant at the time, and she invited us, and I was put down for garbage duties, okay, which was a great job because we had to actually use the handle on the garbage truck, okay, so, and turn that ignition on, so that was really good. But Jojo was pregnant, and now Michelle is turning 21. It's the only way we can remember how many years we've been coming to Christmas Day. So we've done our 21 coming up, which has been really awesome. For myself, we do a little bit of volunteering whenever we can, but yes, it's just that one day a year, but it's a very, very special day.
The first time I met Jurgen was actually on a Christmas Day celebration, and he quite proudly said, "And I'm the rubbish man." And you know what, we have, our Christmas Day celebration really is our city at its finest. There are hundreds of volunteer shifts that get snapped up in a second. But I would say everyone wants to start a revolution, but no one wants to pick up the rubbish. And Jurgen will be there from early on in the day through to the last moments, just helping quietly behind the scenes clean up after the celebrations, which can get quite raucous.
Absolutely, that's the fun or the magic of Wayside Christmas.
Beautiful.
And I can add to the rubbish is my job as well is to go inside the rubbish bin to actually push everything in so we can put more rubbish in it.
So the WH&S disclaimer on all of this is gone. Now, Robin.
Good evening again. My name is Robin Waivia. I'm New Zealand Maori, Kia ora everybody, and Aboriginal whānau. 21 years ago, I did the balloons. I had Chantal as my she was my offsider, and she would flap her along and hurry up, and then what that meant to me was there was this structure on Christmas Day where we had Santa Claus coming in, and then we had all these presents and elves, but there were no decorations for the tables. So I volunteered to blow up balloons. And I remember one lady walked past going, "Yeah, that's a pretty good blow job you're doing there." I said, "Wow, there's lots of balloons to blow up, darling." She goes, "Oh, I wish I had your job." So yeah, so that's Wayside. It's full of laughter, it's full of fun, and it's full of joy. You could be yourself, it's just like me. A cracker!
Beautiful. One of my first interactions with Robin was an impassioned email saying, "Why are there no balloons this year?"
Yeah.
And it was because as the years have gone by, there's been more and more rules to comply with.
Yeah.
And we had a Prime Minister who will still be there on Christmas Day as no longer the Prime Minister. But one of the anti-terrorism laws, Boffins,
Yes.
decided that when there are outdoor festivals and parties and the Prime Minister is to attend, there can be no balloons around the place. I have no idea quite why that rule was in place, but none of us understood it, but we just knew we had to comply with it.
Well, also because the balloon.
A balloon popping sounds like a gunshot, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then also they said all the piece of balloon will be everywhere. But also when the Prime Minister will come, I mean, even after not Prime Minister, we have to have the dog going everywhere first.
Yeah, so it was a
So-
difficult time, but we love him coming, and him and former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull will still be joining us on the day, which is going to be wonderful. But the sniffer dogs aren't going to be coming through, and the bomb check through the place like it used to be the day before, when everyone's already feeling a bit a little bit paranoid and on edge.
They'll come in a cafe and they say, "What's that dog goes?" And I said, "That's our story." "Oh no, we need to go there." And I said, "What for?" So they had to actually put the dog everywhere.
I think she's warming up.
Yeah.
Now,
Speaking about the former PM,
yes.
a couple of years ago, I do remember, 2 or 3 years ago when he joined, so the choir was about to head off, and we were about to all now, 20, 30 of us, would start to get into song. Malcolm and Lucy turned up, okay, he was quickly ushered into the choir. So Malcolm stands beside me. Our friend, Punny, who's a professional singer, behind Malcolm. Away we sing our Christmas carols, and Punny just turns around to Malcolm and says, "You were singing out of tune." And Malcolm just quick off the mark says, "I know."
Yeah.
What I love about Christmas Day, and we're going to talk a bit about Christmas Day, because we need to paint a picture for those of our listeners and people who are tuning in who may have never been quite to a Wayside Christmas. But one of my favourite stories that's told to me was a young backpacking couple flew into Sydney, arrived on Christmas morning, and looked at each other after they set their bags down and realised it's Christmas Day. So we've got nowhere to go, we're away from family, so they hit Google, they Googled away, and they said, "Oh, there's a Wayside party around the corner." So they came and sat down at a table, and all of a sudden they looked up and someone very familiar was serving them prawns. And someone elbowed them to the side and said, "Did you know that's the Prime Minister of Australia?" And they were just speechless. One moment they were on a plane, the next minute they were being served prawns by the Prime Minister, right next to someone who had woken up that morning just around the corner in the local park. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of what Wayside Christmases are all about. So, come on, paint a picture. Someone who's listening in may have never been to a Wayside Street Christmas party. What's happening?
It's like the Wayside party, it's only one like this. Like when I remember when we started in the beginning the party, we used to have about 3,000 to 4,000 people coming, because there was only Wayside we used to do this. We used to have a lot of celebrity like Ernie Dingo, Claudia Carven, and etc. And then as the year went on, some other places did the party, so we don't get 3,000 people. But what the people come, it's amazing, you know. It's like dancing, it's bring the people together, and the happiness and the joy. Like for the last 2 years, yes, we're having COVID, but it's going to come back again. And I'm sure next year, that's going to be the big one. And you know, we just bring the people together.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, having the joys, and then the kids. For me, giving a gift to a kid is because I've never been able to be a little kid growing up. It was always just violence and lots of other bad things happen. But so when I start here, and then I could be Christmas, I had the joys to be at the Wayside, to be able to give to people, and that's what I love to do. I'm able to do this because I belong to Wayside. And like I always say to everybody, when they ask me why you always at the Wayside, I say Wayside is like a magnet. So I've got this magnet and I can't get out of it. So if I want to leave Wayside, I have to move overseas. Otherwise I'm going to be stuck here. But it's just, Christmas is everything to me. And I know I run around like a yo-yo, and I always get told, calm down, calm down. It's very hard for me to calm down on Christmas.
And you don't.
But, you know.
Look, if you ever want to know what a whirling dervish is, looks like personified, we have our beautiful Chantal here. Jurgen.
Yeah, the big thing that stands out for me, because Christmas Day, anyone can come to Wayside. And in the crowd, I mean, you sort of, pan across the crowd, you see everybody, every person from every race, for every colour, and you can see people dressed to the nines, okay, jewels up the arms, etc. And then you see the other people who are doing it tough. But they've all got a smile on their face.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, those smiles are the same. And that's
Yes.
really awesome. That's it to see. And it's, you know, as soon as you get there, I mean, the time goes really quickly on Christmas Day. You know, even though you spend 6-7 hours here, what have you, but it just goes so quick because there's always something on the go, right? With the, you know, with the music going,
And the
with the dancing,
dancing.
with the entertainment. It's just brilliant.
Wonderful. And the wilting violet down the end there, Robin. Tell us.
Well, the one thing I think that's very special on Christmas Day is that I've been popping up for the last 21 years to whatever I decide for the theme, and no one judges you, and you can be yourself, and you can excel, you can do your fullest. And one of the ones that I had intentions of doing was the hello person.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Lovely to be here this evening. And as you can see, I have a witch on my wife. And we have Father John. And we have the garbage man, Jurgen Robin. He's a garbage man. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Wayside's about. A pop-up entertainer is where I'm famous at Wayside Chapel. Thank you very much.
Let's not pull him in up and see what falls out. Oh dear.
And the
that's
best time
wonderful,
when you
Robin.
get Santa coming. So I remember one year I
Yeah,
said,
so tell us about some of your favourite memories out of your 35, 40 Christmases.
oh, there's just so many of them. Anyway, a quick one is like I've got a family who's been coming here every year. So every year there's a new kid. So I think they've got about 20 kids because every year, and they all look the same. So, you know, you go to one kid and they said, I said, do you already have a gift? No, I didn't have it, it was my brother. And then you get the other one, no, it's my sister. No, hang on a minute, how many kids do you have? There's about 20 kids, I swear to God, that's so true. But anyway, and then one of the beautiful story, it just made me cry. When we don't have the COVID, so we have a castle over there for the kids to play on. And there was a lot of few Aborigine kids with their mum and dad in that corner. They were a bit isolated over there. So I went to them and I was like, did you get some gift? Did you get some toys? And he's like, no. And I said, just wait a minute. So I just went inside and I got a big bag and I filled up the toys and I went to them. And I just cried because the kids said, we never had something like this. It's the first time we're coming in a city. We come from the bush. We never had a Christmas like this. And they said, like, it's the first time we're having this. And the mom said, we can never afford anything. And I said, you're welcome to come every year. And they had the castle and they play with the castle. And then I went to get Santa. And so we took them and they had a photo done with Santa and so on. But that was just touched my heart. It really, like, it was just beautiful. And like Jurgen said, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter where you are, we are on the same level. You know, people come and a lot of them know me, of course, and they like a big hug and, you know, like it's Christmas, right? So you do whatever you do. I know it's COVID, but we're careful. So, but that's what we do. And Santa is wonderful. This year, it's going to be hard, but I love Santa as well, and it's going to be a bit different. But I remember one year with my Santa, I said, let's go to the top. So we went over there on the other side, and then I said, we're just going to throw away lollies, because I said to David, the speaker guy, the music man.
Yep.
DJ.
Yeah, and he always was dressed up Elvis Presley all the time until somebody burned his uniform. So I went to him and I said, oh, look, Santa is coming now, so just tell them. And then everybody is like, Santa, Santa. And they're calling him and then they couldn't find him. And suddenly some people said, there's some stuff falling down from the sky. And there was us on the top, and we were throwing with them. And then finally the kids realized, and they were screaming, so we just came down and then filled up the toy, the bag, and then here we go, we went everywhere. And 2 years ago we had a wonderful Santa, who was, that was the first time I think he did it, because he said yes to me, he's going to be Santa and so on. Didn't expect yes, he's going to do it. And then he went to the castle, and then bang, he fell on the bloody castle, he couldn't get up. That was a good one.
Jurgen, what are some of your memories, particularly that stand out about Christmases at Wayside?
Well, Chantal stole my thunder because I wanted to talk about her jumping into the cardboard garbage bin, right? Because it was, she said it's only half full. It was overflowing. By the time Chantal was finished with it, it was only half full.
Yes.
Right? That was a great memory.
Yeah.
That goes back quite a few years. The other funny time when we still had the balloons, you know, because at the end of the party, people could take those balloons home with them. So there was one person who picked up 4 bunches or thereabouts, walked over to their car, and then tried to put them into this little car. They didn't fit. Okay. So,
Yeah.
greed is not the best option always.
Yeah.
So that was funny. Yeah.
But we have talk about greed. We have the same story with toys. You
Of
know.
course, yeah.
So we got this family who's getting toys, and then of course some of our people here who we hear regularly, mom, you know, because you know that was my name. That's always mom. They're taking all the toys over there. We're like, oh, okay. So we got our John W, who works here with us, and he's our, you know, part together at Christmas as well. And then, so I went to him and I said, just go and have a look. So that was the same thing. So they're taking all the toys and they're putting in the car over there in the corner, around the corner.
Yeah,
You know,
Chantal, I
and
think
then-
when they turn up with that shopping trolley,
And the shopping trolley.
there's a sign, right? There is a sign, yeah. We've caught on to that one.
Yes, we did. So anything happened at the Wayside and everything. And that's just the beauty of it. And last Christmas, I got to say, so we did a Christmas with COVID, but so we decorated because we had to do a walkway to come in and a walkway to come out. And then I had all this massive big tinsel, so we wrap around everywhere. And then on the stage here, just put all the tinsel everywhere. So at the end of the day, and I said to everybody who were doing some cleanup, I said, please leave the tinsel in. People can take it for them, it's fine by me. And then I go and do some work, come back later, somebody took it out. So I said, guys, could you please put back the tinsel? And then they put it back, and then somebody took it again 3 times.
Beautiful. Jurgen, what are some memories of Christmas that stand out for you? Jurgen, Robin, sorry. The Thunder Stealers have stolen all the thunder in the
What a
room.
cracker.
What a crack up, Robert. That was a crack up.
My favorite, I will never forget. One Christmas, a lady walked in. She walked in and she was very well immaculately dressed. I think she came from Double Bay, and she walked in. She had all this diamantes on, and she had all her bag, and very, very immaculately dressed. And she said, "Oh, what's going on here?" We said, "Oh, it's a luncheon for people who are homeless, or people have no one to turn to, or people who just feel lonely. It's an open house and anyone is welcome." She said, "Can I come in?" I said, "Oh, absolutely, yes. Would you like a seat?" So I took her to the seat to sit her like a lady. Take a seat, ma'am. And I said, "Today we have raspberry cordial and we have lime cordial." And she said, "I'll have raspberry cordial, thank you." And yeah, so this is what Wayside Christmas is about. You don't know who's going to walk in off the street. I've seen gypsies, tramps and thieves come through this Wayside Chapel, and that's what it's all about. Thank you.
Yes, it is wonderful. You could be anyone, everybody is welcome at our Christmas. And well, we often see there's, I think you say Wayside is a magnet, and it is a magnet for pain and suffering, but it's also a magnet for joy. And so the Christmas Day here starts with a street Christmas service at about 10 in the morning, and then that rolls into a street choir that sings, and then a DJ plays, and then breakfast is served, and then no sooner do we pack up from breakfast than we're starting to roll out a bit of tea and coffee, and then
The
lunch hits, and then the chaos ensues, and it's just this joyful chaos where, and so often people say, look, I can't, I can't get a volunteer role in the day. Well, we say, well, come and celebrate with us, and make sure that your table, or this year the picnic blanket, because this year we're rolling out the green carpet, we're covering the street in AstroTurf, we're going to cover it in blankets, there'll be marquees in case of wet weather, and we're just going to have the world's biggest street picnic. And we say come, well this year I'll say come and make your blanket the most raucous, fun-loving and joyous blanket on the street. And that can be the greatest gift that we give to someone, because we don't know the story of the person to our left or to our right, but we certainly know that we can give the greatest gift, which is not a present,
No.
but our presence.
Yeah.
Looking at someone in the eye and telling them that they are a worthwhile person, not through those words, but through your time spent together on such a perfect, beautiful day.
I would say this year is going to be a cracker this year. Come on down.
If you turn up, you will see one of the memories of Christmas days. You had quite a big head of hair back then. It was about 3 years ago, 4 years? It was tied up in a bun. Your wearing a suit was all, what colour was it?
It's all different. It was
Many
multicolored.
colours. Standing on a table at the WHS with Peter and Robin just, Merry Christmas. I think it was gold. Actually, it was a golden suit. It was Christmas personified, wasn't it?
It sure was.
But the thing is, with Christmas, when you think about it, Christmas now, and Christmas what it was years ago, like Jono said, OHS, forget it. Because in the old days, we just like, okay. But we made it work. We made it work. There was nothing happening, and it was just joyful. And like you said, even if you don't give something to someone, but you're there for them, and then you give smile, and I know how it is. All right, I know how it is. So I know how to probably make someone comfortable and make them happy on Christmas, and that's what we have to do. And that's the reason why we put out there to donate a plate, to be able to organize our Christmas, to be able to feed our people. We have our kitchen are going to be left open all over the festive season, so we're able to serve our people.
Yeah. Beautiful. Now we have had one request from one of the viewers tonight, lovely Claudia, has requested, could you stand up and sing one verse of Silent Night en français?
En français,
S'il vous plaît.
What? Losing my heart? My witch's heart? Douce nuit, sainte nuit, c'est Noël dans la nuit. Saint Joseph et la Vierge Marie veillent sur un enfant tout petit. Douce nuit, nuit de Noël, l'amour est venu du ciel. Douce nuit, nuit de Noël, l'amour est venu du ciel.
Robin, what does Christmas mean to you?
Christmas mean to me? I think it means people to fulfill joy in their hearts, and also obviously there's bringing families and friends together, and I think the most important thing is to being with your loved ones on Christmas Day, and this is where Wayside Chapel is very important for my partner and I. We've been doing this for 21 years, that we know that people can come here on Christmas Day and feel the love, the joy, and be part of the family. Yeah, and I think that's very important for those people out there that don't have anywhere, that don't have anybody, any family. Yeah, so that's what Christmas means to me. Thank you.
It is a family, John, isn't it? Really? Because if you think about it, I mean, having seen so many Christmas days here now, the amount of patience that people have. You know, I've never seen any aggro, not 1 ounce of aggro. You know, if anything, people just, it comes back to the smiles. I mean, which is quite unique if you think about it. You know, this is such a happy family place on Christmas Day, especially.
And the music makes everything.
Yeah, it creates the mood. Yes, no, that's true. You said an interesting point before, John. It's not so much what you're giving; it's more that the conversation perhaps that you have with a person. It reminds me of a quick story. Only a couple of weeks ago, I was in the post office in the city late at night, 11:30 at night. Caught the lift down at Queen Victoria Building, got my mail, and I noticed this lady was crouching down by herself, huddled like this, crouching down, and I thought, didn't speak, but I just thought, she may need some money to go home with. So I just passed her $20. She took the $20, put it straight on the ground, and I thought, okay, I'll just leave it like that. But I didn't speak to her. I'll go back into the lift, and then she comes rushing after me, and she takes the $20 and puts it back into my hand. And she says, I don't need that, thank you. So I did a bit of reflection on that. It's obviously the conversation was lacking, and probably all that you wanted to do perhaps was actually, are you okay? And have a bit of a chat with her. Yeah, so you live and learn.
Beautiful. That's such a beautiful thing. Now you hinted, it's a good lesson to learn actually.
Yeah.
You hinted a little bit earlier about Christmas for you as a little girl. What does Christmas mean to you now?
You know, I grew up without really having joy, and I had 2 kids, and I didn't really enjoy my kids when they were little because I didn't know. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know, So when I started to come at Wayside, really Wayside saved me. Wayside saved actually my life in the right world. And so when I started the Christmas here, it was like I'm a little girl again. and then I do the gift and I do the toy, and every time, because we get gift wrapped up, we have to unwrap everything because there's some toys you can't give to kids. Like we always never gave a gun or a water gun or anything. We don't give that to kids, so I have to get rid of all of this. So, but it's like I'm a little girl again. And then to be with the kids as well, and also when we have the normal Christmas, when it's not the COVID, we have a kids table. So we got all the kids over there, and then we have all the coloring and all these kind of things for the kids, and it's just beautiful. But also I just want to say a quick story about this lady. And I remember that Christmas we were still in your building, and it was Christmas Day, and I happened to pass in that corridor and the phone rang. So I picked up the phone, and it was this lady on the phone crying, and she said, I've got nothing for my kids. She had 2 kids, 2 little kids. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I can't come today because I'm busy and I'm working. But I said to her, tomorrow, it's Boxing Day, and I promise, if you give me your address, I'll come to you tomorrow, and I promise I'll bring you some food and kids. And I did. She was living in Rockdale. Hotel Cronulla, somewhere like that.
Don't tell us the address.
No, I'm not telling the address. I never do that. I can't remember anyway. But I went there and it was so true. You know, like I brought the kids and I brought some food and she was telling the kids, look, we got some milk and all of that. And the other one was in Wentworthville. The lady had the little baby 2 months and the partner was in jail. And at the time we used to make hamper and all of this, so I just brought a hamper and I went with my partner that day. And I've never seen him having tear in his eyes. That was the first time. We went up and I dropped and she was talking to the baby. I just cried. And she said, look, we've got some food. Look what we've got, because I knew she had a baby, so we put some baby's food and all these kind of things. So this is what Wayside is all about. This is what we do, you know, and this is my passion. I'm sorry, but this is my passion.
That's beautiful. Now, Wayside may have saved you, but you save us right back every year, day after day.
Well, I don't see it that way. I just think that that's what I love to do, and I just want people to let me do what I want to do. I don't want to be in charge of this and this and that. I just want to do Christmas. I want to do
I don't think Chantal realises how wonderful she is. You know, she has an Order of Australia medal that she never wears because she doesn't know what all the fuss is about. But this is someone who has been recognised by our nation as a national treasure.
Well, yeah. I can say about this then.
You know, I'm trying to editorialise, but you've been interrupting. It's fantastic.
Because you're talking about the Order of Australia, so I got the letter, and then I went to Graham at the time and I said, what the hell is this? I was a bit more rude than that, but anyway, I'm going to be a bit more polite tonight. And he said, well, that's an Order of Australia. And I said, what for? And he said, for what you do. And I said, well, I don't want that. I don't ask for that, and I don't need that. And he said, well, I'm sorry, honey, but you're going to get it anyway, so shut up. And that's what the story of this as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And, you know, I see every year around late October, early November, there are people will seek out Chantal.
Yes.
And they're just quietly, Chantal, Christmas is coming, please don't forget about me. And she is always moving at 100 million miles an hour, but she'll stop and say, I will never forget about you. And that means I'm going to put aside presents for each one of your children who she knows by name, she knows by age, and she knows also their taste. She has a Rolodex in her mind that would blow you away because it's a Rolodex full of care and love. It is so beautiful. You know, I love that we've had this panel tonight and we're going to play a song in a moment, but what I love about Wayside is that the Christmas Day is it brings together the old King's Cross and the new King's Cross for me. The old King's Cross was a place of great diversity, of great acceptance and of great love. And so our Christmas Day celebration certainly is a place where we say, whether you are a prince or a pauper or a prime minister or in poverty, or if you are black or if you're white or if you are gay or if you're straight or if you're male or female or if you don't identify as either gender, come and enjoy and be loved and celebrate this day together, where you will meet no judgment, only joy and celebration. Yes. And that's the old King's Cross that really is brought together on that day. The new King's Cross that I love about Christmas Day is probably the most dangerous thing the biggest risk you take in King's Cross now, walking through the streets, is stepping in puppy shit, right? That is probably your biggest number one risk here in the neighbourhood. And yet I cannot think of a more appropriate place to celebrate Christmas Day than in a gutter that might have some shit in it, because the first Christmas we remember was celebrated in a manger. That is not a fancy, glorious place, it's the animal shed. So don't tell me it smelled like perfume, and I think that's why one of the magical men out of the east brought something to burn, like incense, because he went, this place stinks. But he just filled it. So I think we had the first interior decorator was at the first Christmas as well, because it is the place where we say it is about celebrating and realising the fact that no matter how dark it may seem, hope is always born from the darkness. So we're going to finish with a lovely song. I'm also going to remind you that if you want to, thank you for logging in tonight, and please come along and donate. Log on to our website for the donator plate. That way, as Chantal says, our kitchen never closes through Christmas and New Year. So not only do you help us throw a wonderful meal for everyone who comes, but also it helps us to be able to cope with the increased demand through the Christmas New Year season. When most other organisations in the inner city take a well-deserved break, we don't, because we know that it's important that we can be there every day, 365 days a year for those who need us the most. Now over to you. I know this, if you're in New South Wales, there's this increasing number of cases, there's an increasing number of worry and anxiety. We were going to have a beautiful choir, the Honeybees, who send their deepest apologies for not coming. They just decided with the increasing case numbers that it was best to not come tonight. We'll get them in for another time at another day. But they've left us with this song that we're going to end with, called "The Storm is Passing Over." And I offer this their music and their gift as a prayer to you, as a meditation to you through this really difficult moment that we're having. And I also want to acknowledge all of you this year who are perhaps facing the first Christmas without a child that you perhaps have lost. The first Christmas after a marriage breakdown that we see has happened significantly through COVID. The first Christmas that you will have alone with an empty chair that should be filled. And I offer this to you as a prayer. So thank you to you for logging in, but also thank you to you, the Honeybees, for giving us this gift.
I know the storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. I know the storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. My soul, be still, my soul, be still, my soul, be still, my soul, be still, my soul, be still with the Lord, soul, be still with disappointment and grief, and all fear is gone. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. I know. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Is tasting my soul. Be still, my soul. When we shall be still, forever with the Lord. Be still, my soul. When years upon and grief. The storm is passing over. I know, the storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. I know, the storm is passing over. Thank you, Jesus. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. I know, the storm is passing over. Thank you, Jesus. The storm is passing over. I know, the storm is passing over.
You can find more of their music online, and also you can book them into the future. The Honeybees, a local choir for King's Cross, amazing voices, amazing talent, with an amazing message for us all. And just to thank you again for tonight, we're going to finish off and have our last Christmas thought and message from our wonderful panel, starting with you, Robin.
Wow. Merry Christmas, everybody, and have a fabulous cracker 2022. You deserve it. Go cracker.
Beautiful. Jurgen, I feel like you should stand as well.
No, Robin stands enough for the both of us. Okay? But this is what happens after 46 years.
Yes.
Okay?
46.
Ridiculous. Message for Christmas. Hope to see you on Christmas Day. Please invite your friends to come along as well. And it's going to be a held come rain or shine. So the picnic is on, the rugs will be down, the grass will be down, and that is the camera I was meant to be looking at, right? So, hope to see you Christmas Day, rain or shine, okay?
Thank you. And last but certainly not least.
And to me, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a better New Year as well.
This camera.
Also, I'm looking there. And also, I just want to say to people who are feeling lonely, don't feel lonely. Come to us. Come here. You're all welcome.
Yeah.
And I just want to also make a little comment towards one of my very close volunteer, and he calls himself is Chantal's bitch. And my partner, Peter, who also has to be wear the clothes I give him to wear on Christmas Day. The last I've got to say is to my son in Germany, which I can't go and I haven't seen him now for 2 years. But I hope he's going to watch that because I'm going to tell him, so Merry Christmas. But everybody, please, come on Christmas, you'll have a wonderful time and you'll never regret to be here. Even if you never came here before and you feel a bit shy about it, don't worry, look for me. I'll be very bright somewhere and I'll look after you.
And Chantal, it'll be COVID safe.
And it'll be COVID safe. And like we said, raining, no rain, shiny, we'll do it.
If you want to find Chantal on Christmas Day, just come to the street party, and the moment I try and say something, she will guarantee interrupt with something, and you'll know that interruption will always be her, because it's the interruptions that make our lives worth living. So thank you everyone for logging in. Merry Christmas to you. I hope we can gather up all your hopes and fears for all the years, and hopefully we've given you some comfort tonight, and that you can have some joy this Christmas and this Christmas season. See you next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.